From KPRC2, this is breaking news.
We are following breaking news at this hour. There has been a plane crash in Brookshire in Waller County. You are looking at live pictures of that jet right now from Sky 2. This happened on Morton Road and FM 2855. 9 people, we are told, were on board that aircraft. Waller County Sheriff's Office saying that 1 person has been injured. There have been no fatalities, but as you can see, that plane is fully engulfed by flames. Firefighters on the scene there as well, spraying the aircraft with water, trying to get those flames under control. Very little at this hour is known about the aircraft, where it was headed, what the circumstances were before the plane erupted in flames. Certainly still a lot of information to gather at the scene there. We do have crews on the way. Difficult to make out what type of aircraft we're talking about, but this certainly looks like it was some sort of a small passenger jet. Again, we know that 1 person has been injured, no fatalities, 9 people on board that aircraft. Certainly, the FAA is going to have to investigate, as well as the NTSB. Difficult to say if weather played a role in this today. I mean, we're dealing with fairly calm weather in our neck of the woods this morning.
Absolutely. Again, you can see there the map, the location of this crash, Morton Road and FM 2855. Andy, you talked about injuries related to this crash, and there was a count, I believe you said, of 9, and 1 injury that we know of confirmed, which is the good news here, because you see a live picture like this and you think, my goodness, hopefully everyone got out of that plane okay, but it sounds like that is indeed the case for the majority of the passengers. 1 person suffered injuries, at least those are the early reports, and we're going to stay on top of this and bring you any more confirmation on the conditions of these passengers.
And certainly, Lisa, this is a fluid situation, so we know there was 1 person who was injured. We don't know to what extent.
Right.
9 people on board. Fire crews there, as you can see at the scene right now, spraying down that flaming aircraft with water, staying quite a few feet away just to protect themselves from the situation there. Want to bring in, if we can, meteorologist Anthony Yanez, if you are mic'd up there. Give us a sense of what the weather conditions are like out there in Waller County this morning.
Honestly, this looks like this is a non-weather event when you're just looking at the numbers right now. Let's start with the wind speeds. And what you have is the strongest winds over just the last hour, 8 miles per hour. And so that's not very strong. The strongest gusts at 12 miles per hour. The current temperature right now is 77 degrees there. I'm not seeing anything. Visibility is unlimited. There's no problems with the visibility. I'm not seeing anything that really raises a red flag with this at all. You can see there is, with the fire going, it's basically creating its own wind. And so you basically have that going straight out just because of the heat. But looking at this from a weather standpoint, it looks like there's got to be something else as far as being responsible for this, because you can just look at these helicopter shots. You just see how clear it is outside. Again, I'm not seeing anything strong with the winds. Temperatures, humidity, everything else is looking pretty good as far as the weather is concerned.
All right, Anthony, appreciate that insight there. So we were able to get a look at the tail number, so want to go over some of the information that we were able to glean about this aircraft based on the tail number. Looks like the owner is out of Spring. This is a McConnell Douglas DC 987 fixed wing multi-engine aircraft, has 172 seats and 2 engines. Again, this is information that we are gleaning from the tail number on the aircraft there. If you were just joining us now, you are looking on the left side of your screen. You're seeing a map of where this aircraft crashed. On the right, live pictures from Sky 2 as firefighters are there on scene trying to get the flames under control. Want to go to our Robert Arnold, who is joining us now live from our newsroom, who is following the latest on this plane crash. Robert, what do you have for us?
Andy, I was able to talk with the Waller County Sheriff Troy Guidry. He is out there at the scene of that plane crash, and so let me give you some basic information. What he has told me, forgive me, I just got at this, so as I look down at my notes, that there were 21 people on board, 18 passengers, 3 crew members. According to Sheriff Guidry, everyone, all 21, made it out of the plane. There are no fatalities at this point, and he is saying so far only 1 injury. Now, they're going to double check everything once they have a chance to go over the plane's manifest, but the sheriff at this point is feeling very confident that all 21 people, 18 passengers, 3 crew members, made it out of that plane before it was engulfed in flames. I mean, you're looking at the wreckage of this plane, and that aircraft is just decimated. This is a large aircraft. I know you were going over some of the stats there, Andy, but this is a large twin-engine jet with the ability to hold up to 172 people, twin engine there. So we don't know exactly what happened. So not 100% at this point if it's a crash or some kind of an aborted takeoff. So those details have not been confirmed at this point. Right now, they're just trying to get the fire out and make sure 100% everybody's accounted for. But again, the Waller County Sheriff Troy Guidry saying he does believe all 21 people on board made it out with only 1 injury, no fatalities. As soon as I get some more information, I will come back and update you guys.
Robert Arnold live in the newsroom, tracking the very latest, what we can learn from the Waller County Sheriff this morning. Robert, thank you again. 21 people on board this large twin-engine jet that is being worked on right now. Fire crews getting water on that plane. 18 passengers, 3 crew members, all of them making it out alive. The sheriff saying there was 1 person injured.
And this is a McConnell Douglas DC 987, has 172 seats. It is a twin-engine aircraft. And again, Robert making a very good point there. We don't know if this was actually a plane crash or if this was the result of some type of aborted landing. But you can see fire crews, several of them there on the scene, working to get the fire there under control. I mean, just a massive amount of flaming wreckage at this point. Really difficult to make anything out from what's left of that aircraft. We heard from meteorologist Anthony Yanis just a couple of minutes ago, letting us know that it doesn't appear that weather was a factor. Want to bring Anthony back in just to kind of go over again what type of weather conditions we were looking out there in Waller County this morning. Anthony.
Right. What we've had over the past hour is a range from 75 to 77 degrees. The winds are out of the east at 8 miles per hour. The gusts at 12 miles per hour. And so you look at that, the visibility, you can just tell by the helicopter shot, it's really unlimited. It's perfectly clear out there. And so when you look at the weather, there's got to be, as Robert was mentioning, something else. You don't know if it's an aborted takeoff or if there was something wrong with the landing. But what you have is really, for the weather, it doesn't look like there's anything really out of the ordinary. As we're widening out the shot here from the helicopter, there's a look at what an 8 mile per hour wind looks like. It's just taking that smoke off to the west. Otherwise, things, as far as the weather is concerned, you want to look at any kind of problems with turbulence, and you're just not going to get that when you're looking from the ground all the way up to about 1,000 feet. It's pretty calm out there. You're not seeing any kind of twisting winds, any kind of shear in the atmosphere, any kind of microbursts, and you're not seeing any kind of big discrepancy with heat. These are all things you want to look at when there is a plane crash. Is how did the weather affect this? And you're looking at almost as calm can be as far as the weather conditions in this area, Andy.
All right, Anthony, thanks so much.
I mean, really a beautiful day.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, obviously investigators will take a look at what might have caused this. It doesn't sound like anything weather related, of course, but paramount right now is getting those flames out. When you look at that wreckage, Andy, it really is something to know. Everyone on board made it out okay. Before, you would think before that was engulfed, right? The Waller County Sheriff saying there's only 1 reported injury right now. We don't know the condition of that individual, but again, 18 passengers, 3 crew members on board this large twin-engine private jet. And as we continue to follow this breaking news out of Brookshire, where this plane crashed just after 10 o'clock this morning.
And this happened right by Houston Executive Airport. So this is the area of Morton Road and FM 2855. Just a couple of minutes ago, I had a producer telling me in my ear a few factoids about this particular airport. In fact, one of our colleagues keeps a small plane there, and I'm told that the Houston Executive Airport houses smaller passenger jets. All are private. Again, very little is known in terms of the circumstances, what was taking place before this plane either crashed or was part of some sort of aborted landing. I mean, we just don't know. We're missing those pieces to the puzzle at this hour. But you know, Lisa, we can't stress enough that the most important fact here is that all 21 people on board, the 18 passengers and the 3 crew members, all made it to safety.
Yeah, and we are getting that confirmation from the Waller County Sheriff. But again, fire crews on scene there in Brookshire about 40 minutes or so after this plane has crashed. This is what that live look is looking like right now. And 1 person injured, and we're of course waiting to hear what circumstances actually led to this plane going down, or as you mentioned, Andy, was this an aborted takeoff? We just don't know, but appears to be a private aircraft here, capable of carrying as many as 100 passengers, according to Robert Arnold in his live report moments ago. 21 total on board this time around with this either aborted takeoff or crash landing, we're not sure, but that aircraft involved in this fire aftermath here. But again, everyone did make it out alive, and that is the good news to report.
Yeah, again, this plane is registered to somebody out of Spring. This is a McConnell Douglas DC 987. Want to bring in our colleague Ryan McDonald here, who can tell us a thing or two about the aircraft that we typically see at Houston Executive Airport. Ryan, what can you tell us?
Houston Executive Airport is kind of a regional airport where you have a lot of private operations. You're not going to find people going out there and lining up to board an aircraft and go on your family vacation. This is more of a kind of a business thing where you're going to charter planes to go on missions that are well planned out in the future. We have a lot of people like sports teams, business people, business jets like that. This airport also has a lot of operations for smaller recreational aircraft. So fortunately, you're not seeing a lot of really huge airplanes out there. It is definitely a towered controlled airport. There's sequencing out there to keep planes away from each other. I think we've already covered the fact this morning that the weather was pretty good. Looks like a great day to fly. So I don't think there was any implications as this was caused by any kind of weather event or anything like that. I had heard some folks talking in a couple circles that I'm in with various pilot groups that this was an aborted takeoff. Right now, I don't know anything about that. That's largely unconfirmed. But if there was a mechanical issue on the plane, I can tell you this is a fortunate place to have an issue, as unfortunate as the situation may be, because there's lots of wide open fields north of that airport, and it looks like that might have contributed to everybody getting off of this plane in time.